Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the ground on which we live is the traditional territory of Caldwell First Nation, of the Three Fires Confederacy, and the original people of Point Pelee and Pelee Island and its surrounding lands and waters, and that of the Huron-Wendat and Wyandot peoples. We recognize and respect the First Nations who are stewards of the land and waters of Turtle Island and who have embraced this stewardship since time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge the contributions of other nearby First Nation communities and all original people across Turtle Island. Members of Council, any disclosures of pecuniary interest? There being none, if we can get an adoption of the Wastewater Committee meeting dated May 23rd, 2023. Councilor Renaud, Councilor DeJarle, all in favor? That carries. We'll go right into items for consideration, and that's number 1, LaSalle Distribution System Summary Report for 2023, and we'll have the Manager of Water and Wastewater with report. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and members of Council. With regards to this report, it's the annual summary report of the water distribution system. It's mandated that we present to the system owner all the details of what happened the previous year, and from number of samples and adverse or even number of main breaks, all these details that goes on with the operations. It's a report in front of you that goes in details. Also, there is similar, more into like more less detailed report that also is being posted on the website before the end of February of each year. That's more geared towards residents of the system, that if they have any questions, they can refer to it as well. If you have any questions with regards to this report, feel free to.
Councilor Renaud.
Thank you. Just in regards to one of the notes in there was one adverse sample was found last year and the entire year. What did we have to do to mitigate that? Did we have to do boil water, or was it just a resampling? What was involved?
So with that sample, it was one of the samples that we take. Every week we take 11 samples throughout the distribution system from sample stations. And one of those samples came back with adverse results. So because we usually contact the ministry and Ministry of Health as well, and the Ministry of Environment, and we usually get the directions from them. Because it's a distribution system and it's more like an error from either from an operator end or from the lab, we can't tell. Usually we do flush and resample, and we do upstream, downstream, and we don't do boil water advisory right away. So that's the ministry directions that we received, and we followed the directions, and then all the samples passed afterwards. And what we had noticed after that, when we usually look through the sampling procedure to see if there is any room for improvement, anything that we need to do to see where that error might have occurred. And part of that was we noticed that the operator at that time did not use the a spout that we usually connect to the sample station in order to not allow the water to splash when it's, we usually flush it so before we take the sample. So if it's splashing, then some drops could come from the other sides of the sample station that is not sanitized, and then that could cause the adverse as well. So we actually took that as an opportunity for improvement and documented, and then we made all the operators aware of the incident and trained them on the proper sampling procedure as well. And we made some changes to our procedure.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments? No. There being none, the recommendation is that the report of the Manager of Water, Wastewater dated March 4th, 2024 regarding LaSalle Water Distribution System Summary Report for 2023 be received. Moved by Councillor Richo-Spagnuolo, support by Councillor Carrick. All in favor? And that carries. Item 2 are internal and external audit reports for 2023. Back to you.
With regards to the drinking water quality management system, There is two audits that we are mandated to conduct every year of the distribution system. And these are separate from the ministry inspections. So we usually hire Aqua to do our internal audit, and NSF for our external audits. And they present us with reports, and as the QMS rep, I usually go through the reports, and we have meetings with them as well during the audit, and we go through the findings that they would find in our system or in our operational plan, and any rooms for improvement as well. And there was one OFI, few OFIs on both audits, and one minor nonconformance on the external audit. All these have been rectified before the end of the last year. And if there is any questions with regards to the reports, feel free to.
Councillor Carrick?
So the text in red, that's what would need to be addressed, is that what you're saying? Like if you look at page 19, 22, it says the NC leaders not included in management review, the procedure states, is that what I'm talking about? That's just the actionable items?
Yes, exactly. So
Okay.
as a result of that, because our operational plan, we say that we have, this one was more, depends on how each person would interpret. So we always interpret that the leaders are optional. And at the time, the auditors looked at it, said, since it's mentioned in a certain way, it shouldn't be optional. So they should be included in the meeting. And then we reviewed it internally as well. And then we decided that from now on, they're going to be always mandatory, that these positions would be included in the management review meeting.
Councillor Girardi?
Thank you, through you. So I'm thinking then that OFI that's on page 18, where it's talking about identifying contacts for utility services and fuel suppliers, shouldn't that automatically be on a list that who's done the job, who's looking at it?
So we have a list of all the emergency contacts, and this one, every year it depends on the auditor. So they've seen it before, they didn't notice it, that it was opportunity for improvement at that time. They're like, this would be something, but for opportunity for improvement, we don't have to make any changes, but we usually, it's more they bring it to our attention, we review it internally, whether we want to act on it or not. It's not the same as non-conformance.
No other questions or comments? Okay. Recommendations at the report of the Manager of Water, Wastewater dated March 4th, 2024 regarding the DWQMS internal and external audit reports for 2023 be received. Moved by Councillor Desjardins, support by Councillor Renaud. All in favor? That carries. Number 3 is the management review meeting summary.
Also, as part of the drinking water quality management system, there is another requirement for at least once a year we would conduct the management review meeting. And there are a number of mandatory items that we have to discuss throughout that meeting, and number of individuals or positions that need to be included in that meeting as well. So in front of you, this is the minutes from the summary minutes from the meeting that was conducted in March of this year, which it covers 2023 calendar year.
Any questions or comments on the meeting summary? Councillor Renaud?
Motion to receive.
Okay. Councillor Renaud, support. All in favor? And that carries. Item 4, MECP inspection report, Superintendent of Water, Wastewater, Mr. Weigel.
Yes. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and members of council. I'm here today to present to you the results of the MEC report. It's our annual inspection report from August of 2023. I'm happy to report that because of our highly skilled and professionally trained team members in the water department, we achieved 0% inspection, 100% inspection, apologies, with 0 non-compliance items found. If there's any questions or comments, feel free.
Councillor Carrick?
Good job.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes.
It was from August of 2022, 2023. Have we had another water meeting since then?
Water main break?
Water meeting?
Oh, water meeting, sorry.
No? Just because
Probably not.
it's a long time ago that
Yes.
we're receiving it, so I'm just wondering if that was just from lack of meetings that we didn't have it. That's all I needed to know. So with that, the recommendation is that the report of the Superintendent of Water Wastewater dated March 7th, 2024 regarding the MECP inspection report be received. And that's moved by Councillor Carrick and Deputy Mayor Capata. All in favor? And that carries. Any committee questions or statements? Councillor Carrick?
So, I think I brought this up before, but maybe not formally. Is it possible to look at the billing cycles? I've had concerns that 3 months is a long time to get your water bill, as opposed to maybe a monthly, like hydro and that stuff. So is that, now that we have smart meters, is that easier to, instead of guesstimating, we actually know what's going on? Is it possible to move to every 2 months or monthly, as opposed to every 3 months? Just a matter of household financing.
I can speak to that. We do read monthly. So when the resident received their bill quarterly, on the bill it shows 3 months consumption. So it's not estimates. So those would be each month consumption separately. But at the time when we were in the process of switching to from monthly to quarterly, back in 2014-15, finance department, they went through the exercise and to determine the cost of sending bills every month versus every 3 months for residential use, residential customers. But all the ICIs receive their bills monthly. So higher users, they get their month in the mail, monthly bills in the mail.
Okay, so can we not, since that's like 10 years ago, can we not look at it again, maybe possibly to say, technology's changed a little bit, might be a little easier to send out bills a little sooner?
Mr. Mara?
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, Council Carrick, if council wishes for administration to look at that, it'd probably be a request for a report. Again, there's going to be costs to that, and so we should be able to come back to council and provide them the summary of what that's going to cost us to do, because there is going to be a cost to billing on a monthly basis. So if council wishes to have that, I think best option is to, because it involves a number of departments to be involved with it, is to make that request, and certainly we can come back with a fulsome report to give council all the information and pick an opportunity, if council so wishes at that time, when to implement that as part of the 2024, 2025 budget or things of that nature, and go from there.
Okay, so I'm okay with seeing a report because we have administration doing their job anyways. So I'd like to at least see a report so that 10 years from, or 10 years ago is a long time. Perhaps there might be a little something different. That's my feeling.
I would like to add one more thing, is that as part of the meter reading upgrade project for this year that we're working on currently, we're transferring from one system that we've been using for the last 10 years to a different system. The new system, once it's up and running, customers will be able to log online and see their consumption daily and hourly as well. So because that's one of the upgrades that we had wanted to move forward with. This way customers can see their consumption before even the bill comes in, instead of waiting the 3 months.
Yeah, I guess the point is that you're paying 3 months as opposed to monthly, so you have to save money for 2 more months. So it's a much bigger bill. So that's the concern I got, so I'm bringing it forward. And I would make that motion that we get a report monthly as opposed to quarterly.
I'll second that, but I'd want to put a friendly amendment if it's friendly to Mr. Carrick. If we're going to look at mailouts, perhaps there's other mailouts that we can combine together because, again, to Mr. Mara's point, there's a cost in everything we do. I don't want us to not look at other things that we're pushing out and skip the fact that maybe we could piggyback other things together to make it more efficient. So if the direction is to staff to just to see if there's a more efficient way of reaching out to folks with these bills and combine other things together, I'd like that to be taken under advisement for this as well, as opposed to, if that's friendly to Mr. Carrick, I just that we leave staff to come up with the most effective and efficient way to send information out.
I think it's friendly to me, as long as the clerk's considering it's friendly, I guess we're okay. I just want to be able to tell people, listen, we can't do it monthly, or we can do it monthly. So that's important. Thank you.
So we have a mover, we have support, all in favor? And that carries. Any other questions or statements? There being none? Nope. Okay. Our next meeting is October 22nd at 4:30 PM. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.